On August 1st, 2026, Florida's own legislative watchdog office put out a report that a lot of condo owners in this state have been dreading. It's called OPAGA, the Office of Program Policy Analysis and Government Accountability, and their job is basically to check whether state laws are actually working the way they're supposed to. What they found? More than 2,500 condo and co-op buildings across Florida have been flagged for deeper structural inspections since 2024. 54 of those buildings were declared unsafe or uninhabitable by local building officials. And here's the part that should worry you even if you don't own a condo. The report itself admits the real number is probably higher because more than a third of local building departments never even sent in their data. So today, let's actually walk through what this means, not just for people who already own a condo in an old building, but for anyone thinking about buying one, anyone renting near one, and anyone who just wants to understand why Florida real estate has been acting so strange the last 2 years. And along the way, I want to explain what each number actually does to a regular person's bank account, because that's usually the part these stories skip. Go back to June 2021. A building called Champlain Towers South in Surfside, Florida, collapsed in the middle of the night. 98 people died. When investigators dug into why, they found a building that had been warned about structural problems for years and a reserve fund that never had enough money in it to actually fix those problems. Florida's legislature responded with a law called Senate Bill 4D, passed in 2022, and later updated by Senate Bill 154 and House Bill 913. Put simply, the law says any condo or co-op building that's 3 stories or taller has to go through a milestone inspection. Buildings within 3 miles of the coast get inspected once they hit 25 years old, everyone else at 30 years old, and then again every 10 years after that. If that inspection turns up real deterioration, the building has to go through a second, deeper engineering review, and if that review finds problems, repairs have to start within 365 days. On top of that, buildings can no longer vote to skip or underfund their reserves for structural items like the roof, the plumbing, the load-bearing walls, and the waterproofing. That reserve funding became fully mandatory as of January 1st, 2026. For a lot of Florida buildings, the actual milestone inspection deadline is December 31st, 2026, which is less than 5 months from today. Missing it isn't a small thing either. Buildings can get hit with $500 a day fines, get referred for code violations, and in the worst cases, get ordered to evacuate. Before you make an offer on any condo, you need to see this. I put together a full HOA buyer's due diligence guide covering California, Florida, and Arizona, the 3 states where HOA surprises hit buyers the hardest, and each one fails buyers in a completely different way. Florida's the SURS and Reserve Waiver Trap. California's the SB 326 Balcony Inspection and Insurance Crisis. Arizona's the quiet one. No law even requires a reserve study, so low HOA fees can actually be the biggest red flag in the room. Inside, you get 27 state-specific questions, the exact documents to request, real special assessment cases with real dollar amounts, and the 5-number health check that tells you if a building's financially sound before you ever sign anything. Links in the description, or scan the QR code on screen to grab it. Here's what the August 1st report found in plain terms. Out of those 2,535 flagged buildings, only 1,575 have actually finished their deeper inspection. That leaves roughly 960 still outstanding. On top of that, there are about 2,900 required first-round inspections that still haven't even happened, and roughly 1,587 deadline extensions have already been granted, 94% of them for coastal buildings, which are exactly the ones facing the earliest deadlines. And the completion rate is actually getting worse, not better. In 2024, about 2/3 of the flagged buildings finished their deeper inspection. In 2025, that dropped to roughly 4 in 10. The report blames a shortage of qualified engineers. There simply aren't enough licensed structural engineers in the state to get through the backlog in time. Now, here's what that means for an actual homeowner. If your building is one of the roughly 960 still waiting on its inspection, you don't know yet what your bill is going to look like. You might be sitting on a building that's fine. Or you might be a few months away from a letter in your mailbox with a number on it that changes your entire financial picture. This is where it gets real for people. Once an inspection finds a problem, someone has to pay for the fix, and that someone is the owners. Boards are covering these repairs with one-time special assessments that are commonly running from $10,000 to more than $100,000 per unit, according to real estate professionals working these deals across South Florida in 2026. To put that in perspective with a real example, back in December 2024, owners in a 567-unit building in Hollywood Beach, two 25-story towers built in 1982, got hit with a $56 million special assessment split across the building. That worked out to close to $99,000 per unit, according to reporting at the time. And that was on top of monthly maintenance fees that were already running more than 80 cents per square foot. That single assessment represented about 16% of what a unit in that building was actually worth. Think about what that means for a regular person. If you own a $600,000 unit and you get hit with a $99,000 assessment, you either need to have that cash sitting around, or you need to borrow it, or you need to sell. And selling a unit in a building that just got hit with a massive assessment is a lot harder, because now every buyer's lender is going to ask about it too. That last part matters more than people realize. Lenders, including Fannie Mae, will often refuse to finance a unit in a building with a failed inspection, underfunded reserves, or major unresolved litigation. So a building's paperwork problem becomes a buyer's financing problem, which becomes a seller's pricing problem, all in a chain reaction.
Here's something interesting happening because of all this. When the math on a building stops working, when the assessment is close to or bigger than what the units are worth, developers have started stepping in and offering to buy the entire building outright, tear it down, and build something new. Larry Mastropieri, a South Florida real estate broker who's closed a lot of these deals, explained it on a real estate podcast this year. In his words, "We've seen developers roll in, if the dirt is good, and pay $1 million or some number that you would never have gotten otherwise." On valuable coastal land, that kind of buyout can genuinely pay owners more than they'd get selling their unit one at a time. But that only works if the location is worth it. As Mastropieri put it, that's the one saving grace some of these buildings have. But then you have the buildings that don't have the good dirt or the desirable dirt. For those buildings, often further inland, away from the coast, there's no buyout coming. Some analysts have pointed to cases in western South Florida where a unit that was worth around $75,000 dropped to roughly $25,000 once a big assessment landed on it, and there was no developer interested in stepping in to fix that. So depending entirely on where your building sits, this crisis either turns into a surprisingly good payday, or it turns into a unit that's genuinely hard to sell at any reasonable price. That's not a small distinction if you're the one holding the deed.
Now, if you're in Jacksonville or thinking about buying a condo here, here's the honest picture, because it's genuinely different from Miami and Fort Lauderdale. As of August 10th, 2026, the median home sale price across Jacksonville sits at $310,000, down about 2.3% from a year ago based on current MLS data. There are roughly 2,224 active listings on the market, with about 3.8 months of supply, which is a fairly balanced market, not a crash. Homes are going under contract in around 44 days on average. Condos specifically are a smaller, cheaper slice of that market. The average condo in Jacksonville runs around $176,000. And interestingly, condo sales in Jacksonville were actually up close to 29% year over year as of June 2026, even while townhome sales fell. That's not a market in panic mode. That suggests buyers are still showing up for the right price point. Part of the reason Jacksonville isn't seeing what Miami is seeing comes down to building age and building count.
The post-Surfside law is triggered by height, not age, so a brand new building still needs a milestone inspection eventually, but the age-based coastal trigger of 25 to 30 years hits far fewer buildings here than it does in South Florida, where entire skylines went up in the 1970s and 80s and have been quietly underfunding reserves ever since. Jacksonville simply doesn't have that same concentration of aging high-rises stacked up against a December deadline. That said, Jacksonville homeowners are still feeling Florida's broader insurance pressure. As of the most recent count, there are about 2,001 policies with Citizens Insurance, the state-backed insurer of last resort, in force in Duval County alone. That tells you plenty of local homeowners couldn't find affordable coverage anywhere else. And that pressure shows up in HOA budgets too, since building-wide master insurance policies for condos have to be covered by the association and, by extension, by every owner's monthly fee.
Let's connect this to what people are actually paying today. Mortgage rates as of August 12, 2026 are sitting around 6.7% for a standard 30-year loan, according to Freddie Mac and Bankrate's daily surveys, higher than they were a year ago. On a $400,000 loan at that rate, you're looking at roughly $2,580 a month just in principal and interest before you add taxes, insurance, or HOA fees. Now stack a Florida condo's other costs on top of that. Florida homeowners insurance already runs well above the national average. Add a monthly HOA fee that may have doubled in the last few years to cover soaring master insurance policies, and then, if your building is one of the ones catching up on decades of underfunded reserves, add the possibility of a special assessment that could run into 5 or 6 figures, due all at once. That's the full stack a Florida condo buyer or owner is actually working with in 2026. The mortgage payment, the insurance, the HOA fee, and the reserve catch-up. Any one of those alone is manageable. All 4 landing together is what's been pushing some owners toward a forced sale or a developer buyout instead of just writing it out. If you already own a condo in a building 3 stories or taller, find out where your building actually stands. Has the milestone inspection happened? Is the reserve study done? Is there a special assessment being discussed at board meetings? That information is usually available if you ask your association directly, and under Florida law, you're entitled to see it. If you're buying, Florida law gives you the right to request a full set of association documents, reserve studies, inspection reports, board meeting minutes, and financial statements, and even the right to cancel your contract if the seller won't produce them. According to agents working these deals, most buyer's agents never actually chase down that full paperwork. That's worth remembering before you sign anything. And if you're just watching this as someone curious about where Florida real estate is heading, this is genuinely one of the clearest examples of a state law directly reshaping who can afford to own property and where. It's not abstract. It's a stack of documents that either exists or doesn't, sitting in a building's file cabinet somewhere, quietly deciding whether your next-door neighbor's unit is worth $600,000 or worth nothing at all. That's where things stand as of this week. If your building or your city gets a new development in this story, that's exactly the kind of update worth coming back for.